Today is day 2 of lockdown 2.0. I've already been out and done my hill sprints. Boris would be glad to know I kept contact down to a minimum. It was only me and the dog out running. There was one other runner on the route. They stayed on the opposite side of the path. They also had a dog though, but that dog was coming down the same path as us. And it was fascinating. My dog stopped dead and started staring at me as this other dog started coming close, as if to say, "Are you going to tell him or shall I?" But then the other dog crossed the road. This is brilliant. Even the dogs understand the rules now. This is getting easy. We're going to smash this lockdown. Right, anyway, I want to do the video outside as it's such a nice morning. It's a bit chilly, but the sun's out. It's all good. Yesterday was tip 5 of my 5 lockdown tips for maintaining muscle. Today is tip 4, and it's called the mind-muscle connection. But what does that mean? Let me tell you. The mind-muscle connection is the ability to squeeze and contract the muscle as much as you possibly can without having to use an excessively heavy weight, which is great during lockdown. What this does, it allows you to recruit as many motor neurons as possible in the muscle bundles and switch them on without having to go to excessive rep levels like you would do with lighter weights. This means you can still stimulate those type 2 muscle fibers even when you only have light weights at home. How I do this? I'll use a push-up for example. If I start in the lower position, as I start pushing into the ground, I imagine that I'm trying to squeeze my chest as much as possible, and as I'm coming up through the contraction, I'm constantly in my mind imagining I am in the muscle and the muscle is contracting under my control, and I'm doing this all the way through the exercise right to the very top. And once I'm at the top, I'm then squeezing even harder again just to really squeeze that contraction in as much as possible. And then on the way down, I'm imagining that I'm pulling myself down to my hands. I'm not just collapsing down to the floor. I'm actively squeezing my pecs, squeezing on the lats, pulling everything back down again, keeping everything tight throughout the full range of contraction. Now, for new gym exercise or new gym goers, this is going to be a little bit trickier to do because they're not quite used to connecting to the muscle in this way. So the best way to do it is use isometrics. Isometrics is a way of holding a weight through half the range of motion. So for instance, I'll use the push-up again as a good example. So you start at the bottom, you push halfway up. When you get to that halfway point, you hold that position and you hold it for as long as you can. Eventually, you're going to start, very, very quickly, you're going to start feeling the muscle burning. And then you get a bit of a trembling, like disco arm sort of sensation going on. You want to hold that, and then what you're going to do is you're going to try and squeeze into it as well, and really, really contract as hard as you can and squeeze into that burning sensation, and then start connecting to that, because that is a very similar thing to what you're able to recreate when you're using the mind-muscle connection through a full contraction. Once you've done that a few times, you'll get used to doing it, and then you can use the full contraction and then squeeze and connect to that and try and create that same squeezing effect that you've got doing those isometrics. So that's tip 4 down. Tip 3 tomorrow. And if you have any questions or want any help with any online programming, either message me through Instagram or Facebook, or head over to my webpage and see a little bit about me first, and then drop me an email on that. If you're a member of the Zone Lockdown group, feel free to message inside that group to either me, Lou, or one of the other guys that are on there, and we'll get back to you with an answer as quick as we can. Catch you later.